Young Junk!
Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, we are closing out the month of February with Vincent's selection for tonight's stop on the mission as we go into that year of 1994 to visit Lawrence Fishburne in director Bill Duke's HOODLUM, also starring Andy Garcia, Timothy Roth, and Vanessa Williams. Vincent's selection for this stop on the mission brought to you, as always, live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, and streaming to Instagram, streaming to Facebook, and streaming to YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
Vincent, we come to the mission today with a heavy heart.
We do.
As the world in general is mourning the passing of Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
Passed away yesterday, February 24th. The 88 years young Roberta Flack, a timeless songstress of the 70s into the 80s, multiple Grammy Award winning singer, writer, performer, and really someone I actually looked up to see if has there ever been any negative criticism or controversy around Roberta Flack? Zero.
Yeah.
The AI overview was nope.
Yeah.
Like she is impeachable.
Universally beloved.
Roberta Flack passed away. We send our condolences to her families and her friends. And Vincent, I know Roberta Flack is high.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. We talked about this a bit in depth when we talked about Bustin' Loose, because the Bustin' Loose soundtrack was one of my grails for years, finding it on wax. And she, of course, did the Bustin' Loose soundtrack. And she always meant a lot to me because she was somebody I discovered on my own. Basically.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I knew who she was, first time I ever saw Your Face and the work she did with Donny Hathaway, like her radio work. But she really is someone that when I was working in a record store, after, of course, knowing my father and my, music people and being in college and knowing DJs and beat diggers. And, at that point, everyone, you remember it was that wonderful period in the 90s where everyone was discovering all of this stuff. And no one had ever discovered Roberta Flack around me. So like I discovered Roberta Flack on my own. And I've said it before, like she has this 5-album run.
Yeah.
Where it's like First Take, Chapter 2, Quiet Fire, Feel Like Making Love.
There it is. There it is.
What is it? I'm looking at the blue. It's blue. I'm looking at it. It's a blue cover.
Oh, hold on. I will tell you in a second. I just
no.
What I'm typing here.
Something by Blue Light. Something about the blue light.
Yeah.
But just an extraordinary. And then, of course, again, the 2 albums with Donny Hathaway. Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway, and Roberta Flack featuring Donny Hathaway. And then the aforementioned Bustin' Loose soundtrack. Just an extraordinary songwriter and musician and singer.
Yeah.
And very supportive. I think the great factoid that we all just got a few weeks ago was she was a detail in the Luther Vandross documentary. And Luther used to be her backup singer, and he talks about her, quote unquote, firing him because she pushed him to go and pursue his own career. So,
The album you're talking about actually was just called Roberta.
No, it's not Roberta.
That's not it?
It's Blue by, make me take out my phone.
I'm sorry that you have to take out your phone.
Not take out my phone.
I'm looking.
Blue Light in the Basement from 1977.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I looked at something. I was looking up. I saw a blue cover. So
Right. You were thinking about Mr. T rap. You were getting it confused with the Mr. T rap.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens.
It's funny you talked about discovering Roberta Flack on your own. When I was coming up, I fell in love with Denise Williams because of "Silly of Me."
Yeah.
Right, and I would just play that all the time. And then one time I was over my older sister's home, and she was playing Denise Williams, and I was listening to it. And then for whatever reason, and this is the days of record players.
Sure.
So spinning a record, so he was playing that, and then she flipped and she played "Feeling Like Making Love" by Roberta Flack. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she's still playing Denise Williams.
Right.
And I'm like, it sounds a little different.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I like that. I don't remember that. And that's when she said, no, this is Roberta Flack. And I was like, oh. And that was when I discovered Roberta Flack. And I was like, wow, that's different. Just a purity of voice that came through to my young ears. Just like, wow, this is absolutely amazing.
Look, what I've been, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a song called "Gone Away," and I think it's on First Take. It's actually a Curtis Mayfield and the Impression song, but Donny Hathaway arranges it for, and it is chilling. Like, it gives me chills every time I hear it. So yeah, it's a real loss.
A real loss.
And somebody pointed out yesterday, Chris Jasper of the Isley Brothers passed, and of Isley, Jasper Isley. He was in Isley, Jasper Isley, but then they joined the Isley Brothers.
So then you're an Isley brother.
Right. Well, I think he's a cousin. I think he's a cousin, but remember 3 + 3, which is the only Isley brother I can name. Put on 3 + 3, where it's the original Isleys, and they joined up with, I think it's the 2 younger brothers who would be the 2 Isleys, and then Jasper, which was Christopher Jasper. So, like Ron and them said, yeah, I guess them young boys is all right. We put them in the band. Now we all Isley brothers.
I think somebody actually pointed out that did Jerry Butler pass away?
Jerry Butler did pass.
He passed away.
Yeah, Jerry Butler passed as well, which is a shame.
Yeah,
a real loss.
Yeah, big losses.
Full disclosure, I was not a big Jerry Butler fan.
I know a Jerry Butler song.
Yeah.
I just can't name one.
Yeah, but it's legend. He's a legend. Yeah. So it's
but you know what? Unfortunately, this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens sometimes. You'll pass away. A famous person will pass away. It's like, oh my God, it's so bad. And then somebody else will steal their thunder.
I mean, look.
It happened to the first one that comes to my mind is Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx passed away. And maybe an hour later, Elvis Presley passed away.
I'm pretty sure Suzanne Summers died the same time Michael Jackson did.
Was it Susan? Yes, I think it was Suzanne.
I think it was Suzanne Summers.
People were like, Suzanne Summers, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes. So rest in peace, Roberta Flack.
This is completely inappropriate. I know it's, but I always think when I met Octavia Butler, I told you I was her body man for the day, and I was driving her around.
Wait a minute. I'm just drawing a picture of you as somebody's body man.
Look. I was taking her assistant, basically. I'm basically her personal assistant.
But you said body man.
I know. Well, I always think about that dude. Right, exactly. But I joked with her and said I had to get her to where she needed to be safely, because if something happened and I crashed, everything would be about her. And it'd be like, unnamed graduate student also dies. Like, everyone would come out and talk about Octavia Butler, and then in the 5th paragraph, and also unnamed graduate student.
Oh my God, is Octavia? Who's that? Nobody.
Unnamed graduate student.
That was her body man.
It's like, here's an old conversation we had. Remember, like, for years, nobody talked about the Big Bopper dying?
That's right. They
talked about Buddy Holly forever. And then they made La Bamba, and then people said Buddy Holly and Richie Valens.
Mm-hmm.
But no one ever talks about the Big Bopper died, too.
No, listen.
So I think the lesson to take from that, don't go places with famous people, 1. 2, don't die at the same time as famous people. Or like people more famous than you. That took a turn. That took a turn.
Really.
But rest in peace. Rest in peace to all.
Let's land there.
Unlike the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens. I blame you for that. You set me up. You 100% set me up.
Oh God. All right. Oh, I needed that. Okay. Somebody corrected us. It was not Suzanne Summers who died with Michael Jackson.
It was Farrah Fawcett.
It was Farrah Fawcett.
Okay.
It was Farrah Fawcett. Okay.
I'm not going to say a word. We just go keep it moving. Let's just keep it moving. Chantilly lace.
Who's that?
Stop. Oh my God, wouldn't that be the most random controversy?
Oh God.
Like the Big Bopper estate gets angry at us.
What was his real name?
Don't. I don't know. I just don't know. No disrespect to the Big Bopper. I'm just not an early rock and roll guy. I just don't know.
Just don't know his name.
I don't know his name. That's all. No. I don't know Fats Domino's real name. So, that's not a Big Bopper thing. That's an early rock and roll. I just don't know.
Okay. That's a good save there with Fats.
Well, look, I was trying to think of
real quick.
Trying to think.
Chuck Berry? No, that's his name.
Right. I guess his first name is Chuck. I can't use him.
Can't use him.
His name. Chuck.
James Brown? No,
I guess that's probably James.
Pretty sure that's James.
Would his first name be Little? No, his first name's probably Richard. What if his first name's Little? So then you're right, I thought of Fats Domino. And I assume that's not his first name. Although people can be so cruel.
Oh, God. Somebody in the chat, God bless the missionaries. The Big Bopper's real name was Giles Perry Richardson Jr.
Okay. And now we know.
Now we know.
Now we know. Rest in peace to the Big Bopper.
See, but now we know why nobody remembers.
Oh, my God. Will you please?
Because they thought he was black. His name is Richardson. Giles Perry Richardson. Yeah. Did that sound like the Big Bopper?
Look, yes. Why don't we land here and keep moving?
Now I can blame you.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to your emails, or as we like to call them,
missives from the missionaries.
So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Missives from the missionaries.
Mrs. from the Missionaries. Vincent, we have an email from David Thomas.
Hey, what's up, David?
Dear Len and Vincent, been in love with your podcast ever since I heard the premise. As an avid fan of black horror, it's been wonderful to hear your takes on some of the classics. I'm pro His House, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
I thought you might be amused to know that I'm making a movie with the following premise.
Okay.
True story, beneath Washington Square, an urban park in Philadelphia, lie buried the bodies of hundreds of enslaved people.
Okay.
What if one night they all came back as zombies, but they only ate white people? The movie is called White Meat.
Oh boy, this is quite an episode already.
Dave says, if I may be so bold, it would be amazing to get the word out to the fans about this movie, as I think that they would really appreciate the concept. Well, we do appreciate.
Well, we do appreciate
the concept, David.
We
very
do like
much do.
horror and yeah.
He actually is letting us know that they have a Kickstarter campaign.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh my God. They're actually trying to get a proof of concept short up and running, which is called White Meat: Appetizer.
Okay.
Which you can find on Kickstarter right now and help them reach their goal to get this made. So look up White Meat Appetizer on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And help them out.
Yeah. Good luck with that, David.
Yeah, we definitely. Mm-hmm. That is insane. So we wish you good luck with that, David. All right. We have another email. This is from Michael Lockett.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Evening, brothers and fellow missionaries. I'd like to first send my condolences to anyone whose life was touched by Roberta Flack. Miss Flack's music was part of the Saturday late morning cleaning the house kind of music when I was young.
I hear that.
As I got older, it turned into part of the quiet storm. Mm-hmm. I thank Miss Flack for both, but especially the second. She brought a lot of love to the world. Amen. There was some randomness at the beginning of the Killing Time and Two Zone Transfer Odds and Ends with Angelica Bastion show from last week. I was a little sad I missed it, but I was lucky enough to be in Spain eating well and watching my son play soccer with one of the professional clubs. Oh, you got to let us know.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
I want to go to Spain. I've never been to Spain.
Me neither.
Yeah, very nice.
I also pulled Vincent and found myself hunting for comic shops in the city.
And?
I found a great one, but couldn't decide which comic or manga I wanted in Spanish. There was too many choices. I ended up buying my sons a couple of rare-ish Dragon Ball action figures that were about $40 cheaper than in the United States.
Very nice.
Which means that you may want to go there to do your action figure hunting.
Yeah, very nice.
Once back stateside, I got back into the movie groove. Killing Time was such a wonderful short. Well written, well acted, and real. Like Len, the voiceover really, really, really sold me on this piece. I need to look for more work from this wonderful black woman. As much as I wanted to like Two Zone Transfer, the bad sound really soured me on the film. See, I wasn't the only one. It pissed me off that I knew I was missing something important and there really wasn't anything I could do about it.
Yeah. Very true. The best of us.
Odds and Ends, however, was big fun. It had everything I like in sci-fi and seemed more like a show pilot connected to a bigger IP, like a book, feature, or a feature film. See, exactly what we said. Since I missed last week and Wicked with special guest Erica Washington, I'll be brief. Erica was dropping truth bombs as big and as powerful as what the Enola Gay did. The film is great, but I believe most people who saw it missed the point. I think people see the framing of Glinda as the actual villain, but miss the racism, whether because of conscientious stupidity or willful ignorance. And finally, on my time travels, I landed with you along with Tia Whitfield as you critiqued The Best Man. Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was done in my basement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a stan for Omar, Dorian, and Simone, but Tia may be my favorite guest you two have ever had. She was really funny and held her own. The more I watch The Best Man, the more I love it. It is solid filmmaking and storytelling in every way. I wish they had never made the subsequent films and waited until waited until maybe 2030 to drop a film where everyone is in retirement and dealing with their legacies with each other and their children. Oh, that's a good call. Good call. And Tia was a great guest. She absolutely was a great guest. Since The Best Man soundtrack is so good, and we just lost Roberta, it made me wonder if you had to pick a classic and a current artist or band and use only their catalog of songs to score a film, who would be your top choices? One caveat, however, no Donny Hathaway or Curtis Mayfield allowed. I quickly go to Stevie Wonder and Beyonce, but a part of me wants to pick the Isley Brothers, Sade, or Maxwell. All the best, Michael. First of all, Stevie Wonder has already done kind of like a soundtrack. I mean, but even though I guess
he did Jungle Fever, and he has songs on. How many songs are on The Woman in Red? I think, does he do the whole soundtrack?
I think
for The Woman in Red?
That album is him.
Right, so he does that, and he does The Woman in Red, and then he did Stay Gold.
And his music is in a bunch of stuff.
The Outsiders soundtrack.
Because isn't As in Best Man? It's not on the soundtrack, but it's in the movie.
It's in the movie.
So like his music has been in movies. I guess, sometimes they don't have license to do that.
And one of my favorite jokes of all time in a movie is around Stevie Wonder in High Fidelity, which is about a 90s record store, which, as you can imagine, I love. There's a moment where father comes into the record store and says he wants to get a copy of I Just Called to Say I Love You for his daughter. And Jack Black is the most stereotypical but quite honestly accurate depiction of a snobby music store clerk of all time. And he says, there's absolutely no way that your daughter wants that song. There's no way your daughter wants to hear that song. And then he goes, is she in a coma? So, the joke is, of course, Stevie Wonder, I Just Called to Say I Love You is this cheesy song. So they're like taking a shot at Stevie Wonder. But then the movie ends, and it's one of my absolute favorite movie endings of all time, where John Cusack's character has had this up and down relationship with his girl the whole movie. And of course, he's a music guy, so he makes mixtapes.
Yes.
And at the very end, he says, I'm finally making a mixtape for her. It's all music that she likes. I'm just getting to the point where I know that. And then the movie goes off, and Stevie Wonder's I Believe When I Fall in Love with You, It'll Be Forever comes on. And it's just perfect. So
that is a good movie. I need to watch it again.
Oh, how much do I love High Fidelity?
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
But I would also pick Stevie Wonder. Is Stevie Wonder is he off the table?
Well, Michael says that he would go to Stevie Wonder. To me, Stevie Wonder seems like an easy grab.
Too easy?
It's too easy.
That's fair.
Now, I will kill a sacred cow here.
Uh-oh.
Because he mentions that parts of him wants to pick the Isley Brothers. I could see the Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers are a good pull.
He says a part of him wants to pick Maxwell. I don't know about his whole catalog.
Very time specific, too.
Right.
Like if I'm doing a 90s movie, maybe.
And he says part of him wants to pick Sade. I wouldn't choose Sade. But killing a sacred cow is because I like Sade, but I find that a lot of Sade songs sound alike.
I swear it's like I don't even know you.
They just sound... So you're talking about it's a soundtrack that's in the same mode throughout the entire thing. And it doesn't go...
All the years that I've known you, and every time you say to Sade, there's a part of my mind where I say, this is the moment right here.
Where you punch me dead in the face.
No. When it all comes out, whatever it is that's going to come out, and they make the documentary about you, 20 years from now on Netflix. It's always, this is the moment where you say the Sade stuff that I think the mask slips.
That's how I feel.
I know. Oh, I believe you.
I wouldn't go to Sade. If I had to pull somebody's catalog to create a soundtrack, Stevie Wonder is definitely an easy get. He didn't say Prince. I think you could do a lot of work with Prince.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a lot of work with Prince. So Prince is a good one. He took Donny Hathaway off the table,
Which is also a good one to pull from.
I will say outside of Prince, Stevie's a no-brainer. I'll say, here's one for you.
Okay.
It might be a bit of a stretch. I'll say Lettucey.
I can see that because Lettucey works in a lot of different contexts. He said we can't use Curtis Mayfield, so I'm assuming he's saying we can't use Curtis Mayfield produced people. Because I think both Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight could have done, like have catalogs you can pull from. We just can't pull from
They're Curtis
the
Mayfield.
Sparkle
Yeah.
soundtrack or the Claudine soundtrack.
Right. Right.
But Gladys Knight in particular, I think her catalog is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's enough there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go Aretha before Gladys, but
I mean, Aretha is damn near Stevie Wonder, though, as far as,
Fair, that's
throw a
fair.
dart.
that's fair.
So,
That's fair. Good question though, Michael.
very good.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. And we have one more email, Vincent. This is from Jacob Bloomfield.
Hey, Jacob.
Excuse me. Dr. Jacob Bloomfield.
Dr. Bloomfield.
To the Men of Micheaux, I've been gripped by a paralytic melancholy lately,
Oh, no.
and I just wanted to reach out to say that your rapport, humor, and insightful commentaries have been a real balm for me during this difficult time.
Oh, good.
Just as we are all no more than 6 degrees removed from D'Urville Martin, your podcast is close to my heart. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem, Jacob. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good to hear that. Look, all we got is us.
That is it. That is
All we got is us. So,
that is it.
yeah.
Really appreciate that, Jacob, and wish you a speedy recovery. All the best.
Out of the melancholy.
Yes. Lift you up. All right.
All right.
With that being said, if you want to have your thoughts read, shared here on the Micheaux Mission, please feel free. Send us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION @gmail.com. And right now, we are moving in to the top 5.
Top 5. Who's your top 5? My top 5 is. 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 My top 5 is.
Top 5, where I present a list and Vincent shares his scintillating commentary about said list with me and you, the listener, and the missionaries. Vincent,
Yes, sir.
we have reached the end of February.
We have.
This is our last show in February, Black History Month. And in theme, like February is coming to an end, so has the top 5. This will be the final top 5 list here on the Micheaux Mission.
The final 5.
The final 5. It's the final countdown here on the Micheaux Mission.
How do I say goodbye to what we had?
So,
The good times. I'm sorry.
So keeping in theme,
Keeping it in theme.
I'm going to present to you a very personal list.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This is my final five. Now, is my final five of what, you may ask?
I am asking.
Well, these will be the 5 films that are on the list of Pantheon of Black movies
Ever growing.
that, unless one of our guests selects one of these movies, I will never select them to be reviewed on the Micheaux Mission.
Do I get to pick them? Could I pick them?
Well,
I'm not allowed to pick them either?
Well, here's the thing. I'm putting out this list
So that I don't pick them.
so that in hope
Because I don't want to trigger nothing.
you will be,
Trigger Ragnarok.
will stand in solidarity with me and not select these
Right.
films.
Like I'm not going to kill Baldur with the mistletoe in trigger Ragnarok. I don't know if that's really what happens in the Norse mythology, but from Thor comics, that's what I learned.
Anyway,
I don't want to trigger Ragnarok.
then don't select these films,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Stand in solidarity with me.
So I don't trigger Ragnarok.
Okay. So that you don't trigger Ragnarok.
I don't know much Norse mythology. I just read Thor comics. Go ahead.
Today? 'Cause
Number 5.
number 5.
Okay.
This is a film that we have collectively said we are not going to be selecting on the Micheaux Mission.
Okay.
Until the actual end of the Micheaux Mission.
Okay.
And that is Meteor Man.
Yes.
From
I
1990.
don't even want to talk about it that much.
Yes. We have reasons that we have discussed previously
Yes,
on the show
yes.
as to why Meteor Man has been designated the final episode of the Micheaux Mission.
And to be clear, for newer missionaries, it has nothing to do with Robert Townsend. It has nothing to do with the film itself.
No.
So much so that we have tried to review it 3 times.
Yes.
But at some point, God is trying to tell you something.
Yes.
So, okay.
So it has been designated the last.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we turned the lights out after that.
Exactly.
All right.
So Meteor Man is off the books.
Okay.
So now the rest of these are all me.
Right. And I'm not going to get them because, well, I've covered that.
Hopefully you won't.
Hopefully I won't. All right, what we got?
Because you can be a bastard. Number 4 is from 1975.
Okay, yeah, because these are my years.
Exactly.
Go ahead. What is it?
Exactly. Mandingo.
Yeah.
Mandingo, for those who don't know, is a historical melodrama. Heavy on the mellow.
Yeah. In Norton.
Yes. Produced by Dino De Laurentiis.
Oh, Lord.
The film stars Perry King as Hammond, the son of a cruel slave owner
Seems a little redundant.
who is known to rape the female slaves on his father's plantation, and his father orders him to marry a white woman to produce grandchildren with no black ancestry. Hammond marries Blanche, played by Susan George, his cousin, who becomes jealous that he pays more attention to his black lover, Ellen, played by Brenda Sykes, than to his wife, leading Blanche to force the Mandingo, fighting slave, Meade, played by boxer Ken Norton.
Norton, that's right.
Remember, he's a boxer.
Yeah.
Into a sexual relationship with her.
Yeah.
I saw this movie when it came out in 75. I probably saw it maybe 2 or 3 years after it came out.
Okay.
No, because I definitely saw it on video cassette. So it must have been like maybe about 10 years later. But I saw it on video cassette thinking that I was buying just one of those silly blaxploitation movies.
Right.
This movie scarred me for life.
Mandingo is terrible.
It is a horrible movie.
Yeah.
It is a horrible, horrible movie.
Yeah.
It's scarred me for I didn't think any one way about Ken Norton as a boxer.
Sure.
But I can never look at Ken Norton
Yeah.
afterwards.
And there's an entire sub-genre of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
These sort of slave exploitation movies. And yeah, you don't have to worry about me picking Mandingo. Like I know I probably saw Mandingo one of those blockbuster nights and the wings got cold and the beer got warm because everyone was just sitting in there quiet.
Right, because there's nothing fun.
Like this, it's more rape.
Yeah, it's
So much rape.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about me picking Mandingo.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you're the witness. Mm-hmm. So unless now mind you, a guest can still pick it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm not going to pick any of those slave exploitation movies.
Okay.
Like any of them. So, but go ahead.
Number 3.
Number 3.
This is from 2001.
Okay.
Written, produced, and directed by Michael Mann.
Okay. Interesting.
Ali. With Will Smith playing Muhammad Ali from the point when he beat Sonny Liston in 1964 all the way through the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman. Now, the reason I will never pick this film is because I watched the trailer when it was coming on TV all the time when the movie came out. And I've seen the movie poster. I don't have anything against Will Smith.
Okay.
But when I heard Will Smith was being cast as Muhammad Ali, I was like, oh, y'all can't do better than that. And then I saw the trailers and I saw the movie posters and I was like, y'all really can't do better than that? And I just have absolutely no desire to see this.
So you've never seen it?
I've never seen this.
I'm glad you said something because it's a fascinating movie. First of all, it's like a poison chalice, and then it's well, first of all, it's a poison chalice. Like I always thought, Denzel Washington got away with playing Malcolm X because the general populace, when Malcolm X came out, did not actually know what Malcolm X looked like. And the ones of us that did only really saw him in black and white photographs.
Right. So you weren't sure of the
like sort of footage of Malcolm X talking, just period, wasn't around, and certainly color footage.
Right.
Muhammad Ali was the most recognizable person,
human being
on earth.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Everyone knew what Muhammad Ali looked like. So that was the first thing. And then secondly, by the time Ali came out, Will Smith had entered into that, that mode that I always talk about with Oprah Winfrey, where Will Smith is so recognizable that you really just need to play a version of Will Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
Or else it's like, what are you doing right now? Like Hitch? Okay, well, obviously you're Hitch. Bad Boys.
Well, that's the other thing. He's always played pretty much himself.
That's my
He's
point.
like Tom Cruise in that way.
Point. Like you're playing you.
Yeah.
Like you're really,
yeah.
it's the Will Smith character.
Right.
So like Will Smith, who is super recognizable as Will Smith, playing one of the most recognizable human beings in recorded history, it was always a weird fit. And I'm kind of fascinated by that, but not fascinated enough to pick it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the movie where I noticed that Jamie Foxx could really act, though.
Yes, and I've heard that.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx kind of steals.
Because he plays
the
Bundini.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's really good.
I've seen the pictures and
Yeah,
he looks like,
yeah.
He's spot on.
Yeah, but no, that's not good enough for me to, you don't got to worry about Ali.
Oh, very good. So you're in solidarity.
No, yeah, but I'm glad you said something because that very much is something I've wanted to talk about because it's like just a fascinating kind of film.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 from 2004.
Okay.
Written and directed by Terry George.
Okay.
Don Cheadle and Sophie Okonedo in Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about me picking. That's. Have you seen it?
No.
It's really, really good, but it's really, really sad.
And that's why I haven't.
Like it is. I've only seen it once.
That's exactly why I haven't seen it. Now,
Oh my goodness.
I recognize people who I respect, say it's a great film.
It's a great film.
And in the days of when digital media meant something, not digital, physical media meant something. When I saw Hotel Rwanda, I said, you know what? I want to own this movie. So I own it.
Sure.
But I've never seen it.
It is gut-wrenching.
I just do not. I has never been in the mood.
It is gut-wrenching.
To put this movie
Like it
on.
really is.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, it's based on the Rwandan genocide, which occurred during the spring of 1994. The film depicts Rusesabagina's efforts to save the lives of his family and more than 1,000 other refugees by providing them with shelter in the besieged Hotel des Mille Collines. Hotel Rwanda explores genocide, political corruption, and the repercussions of violence. And one day, one of our guests on the Micheaux Mission will select this.
Hotel Rwanda is tough.
But until then,
Yeah.
it will not be I.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about me picking
It will
that.
not be Vincent.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
And now we come to the number one.
The film that you will never pick.
I will never pick.
All right, let's see what this is.
This is from 2014. Produced, written, and directed by Tyler Perry.
Okay. You really pushing it right now.
Now, I don't have anything against choosing Tyler Perry movies, except this one.
And which one is this?
This is Tyler Perry's The Single Moms Club. Now,
You don't want to see your girl sullied by Tyler Perry. You don't want to see your girl sullied by Tyler Perry. You don't want to see Tyler Perry's hands all over your Nia Long.
this film stars Nia Long, Wendy McClendon-Covey, Zuli Hino, Coco Brown, Amy Smart, and Terry Crews. And Tyler Perry. Here's the thing. I have seen this movie.
Okay.
And no, I don't like the idea of Tyler Perry.
Like Tyler Perry came and put his hands on like both her shoulders and like moved her around and said, Nia, stand here. Like Tyler Perry came and you know, Tyler Perry's a tall man, so he probably got big hands. So like he put his big hands on her shoulder and like moved her. You don't like thinking about that, Lynn?
No, I don't.
You don't like about like Tyler Perry sitting in a dark room looking at dailies. I don't know if he looks at dailies. He doesn't seem like somebody who would look at dailies, but for the sake of the bit, Tyler Perry sitting in a dark room looking at dailies and looking at like 3/4 speed, looking at Nia Long. You don't want to think about that, Lynn? You don't think about that?
I wasn't thinking about
You don't want to think about
until
like Tyler
now.
Perry with like a light meter next to
Oh my
next to
God,
Nia
listen.
Long's face, trying to get you got to get the lighting right. You don't want to think about that with Nia Long and Tyler. You don't want to think about
What were in
Tyler
these
Perry.
Thor comics that you
Tyler
were reading
Perry.
today?
You don't want to hear. You don't think about Tyler Perry coming into Nia Long's trailer and saying, "Nia Long, I want you to have a wig from my personal Medea collection for this scene." You don't want to think about that. You don't think about Tyler Perry at like the table with saying, "Nia Long, I'm going to eat half this bagel. Would you like the other half of the bagel?" You don't want to think about Tyler Perry with Nia Long like that, Lynn. You don't think about Tyler Perry and Nia Long.
There's your entire reel, Dylan. No, I don't want to think about
You don't
that.
think about that.
But that's not the reason.
Okay.
The reason is because I have seen this movie, as I have mentioned. Nia Long is not good in this movie.
No.
Nia Long is really bad.
No.
Really, really bad.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to do a review
You,
where I have to give
That's
a bad review to Nia Long.
I actually have not seen this film. Does Tyler Perry play her love interest?
I honestly can't remember if he
Okay.
was a love interest.
All right.
I can't remember.
Damn, he's a fool if he didn't.
I mean,
Shit, what's the point of being Tyler Perry?
that's what
Like,
half these guys
like
that
if
do
you go-
movies.
Right, if you have Nia Long in the movie,
That's why half these guys that do movies, they cast her because they've always had the dream of her as their love interest.
Yes. I wouldn't even be mad at him.
Yeah, well.
But Lynn would. Hey, Neil Long, we're going to the rap party. You coming? We're going to play Taboo. Will you be on my team, Neil Long?
Taboo.
It's going to be Tyler Perry and Neil Long versus Terry Crews and one of them other people you named.
Okay, so that's the top 5.
All
that is the
right.
final top 5
All right.
here on the Micheaux Mission.
All right.
Okay, thank you. So you stand in solidarity. You will not select any of these.
I do stand in solidarity, but you're really pushing it
with the Single Moms Club.
Like, you're really pushing it with that. But
Of all the films.
of all the films.
Tyler Perry
Right,
film.
right. Luckily, Tyler Perry makes a movie every 2 weeks.
So, yeah.
So they keep accumulating.
There you go.
So, all right.
All right. Now it's time for the Game of Kings,
Yes.
otherwise known as 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. Six Degrees of D'Urville Martin, where I have 2 actors. I present them to Vincent, and he has 6 films or less to connect them to D'Urville Martin, that man who can star in any black film of his choosing, and I will select that for the Micheaux Mission.
There you go.
All right, Vincent, we are going to keep this in theme.
Okay.
I just told you about 5 films that I will never select for the Micheaux Mission.
Okay.
Myself, I won't
Okay.
select them. I have 2 actors who, when I see them in films, do I really have to see that?
Ooh, tough.
Yes. And number 1, in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin to
2.
Tyrese Gibson.
Well,
Yeah, he's never sold a movie for me. I know he's your baby boy.
you know I'm going Lil Jody. Lil Jody. Lil Jody. All right, here you go. Lil Jody, Lil Jody. All right, all right, all right. Oh, this is interesting. Because we just talked about The Jerk. Here you go. Here you go. D'Urville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is in The Jerk.
Yes.
With Steve Martin. Steve Martin is in Little Shop of Horrors with Tisha Campbell.
Yes.
Tisha Campbell is, of course, in House Party with A.J. Johnson, who, as we all know, plays the mother of Lil Jody. Lil Jody. One for that woman, I'd have broke you already. Look at you. I see a little chocolate. I'm not going to use that word. And then he licks his head. Played, of course, by Tyrese Gibson in Baby Boy.
Very good. Very good. Nicely done, Vince. All right. Number 2. Another actor. He's never sold a movie for me.
Oh, it is real tough.
This may actually be, honestly, for no real true reason except I just do not enjoy this person's acting
Okay.
ever.
Okay.
No, except in one scene.
One scene.
And you will know the scene when I name the actor.
Okay.
So in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin to
2.
Esther Roll.
You and your Esther Roll. I don't even know what Esther Roll is in besides Driving Miss Daisy and Down in the Delta. What else is she in?
She's been in not a lot, but she's been in a few movies.
She's good and Down in the Delta too. She's good. She has a bit of dementia, and she plays that character really well.
Okay. And there is another movie that you're not naming.
It doesn't matter because I'm going to use Down in the Delta. What else is it?
The Mighty Quinn.
Is she in the Mighty Quinn?
she dies in the Mighty Quinn.
You know, I never forget the Mighty Quinn because Cheryl Lee Ralph is so shiny and brown.
She's brown
and shiny. I don't even remember what else is in the Mighty Quinn. It's like, ooh, Cheryl Lee Ralph. But Down in the Delta, I'll use that.
Okay.
Who do I want to use in Down in the Delta to get to her? Because it's Alfred Woodard, it's Wesley Snipes, it's Al Freeman.
You could connect to this movie.
Oh, I can connect to a bunch of people. But this is what I'll do, though. Because I'm trying to expand a little bit, do a little different things. Because Derville Martin is in Hitman with Bernie Casey. No, he's in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier. Pam Grier is in Hitman with Bernie Casey.
Okay.
Bernie Casey is in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker with Anne-Marie Johnson. And then Anne-Marie Johnson is in Down in the Delta with Esther Roll.
Okay then.
Yeah, because she plays Wesley Snipes' real bougie wife.
That's right, Monica.
Because she real thin and light skinned in the 1990s. So she got to play a bougie bitch. That's the only role she can play. She was mad that Vanessa Williams got to play a more well-rounded role in this. It was like her and Vanessa Williams was battling each other because we light-skinned skinny girls in the 90s, so we got to be the bougie bitch.
Vanessa Williams is not in Down in the Delta.
No, I said she fought with.
Fought
yeah,
with her.
Right. Those were you're right. They were the two fighting over the roles.
Oh yeah. Well, she took Vanessa Williams took all her
work.
She took all her lunch money.
Anne-Marie Johnson was home looking at soul food like, I could have played Terry.
Yeah,
but all right,
in a different universe. You could have connected to Loretta Devine. She was Down in the Delta as well.
Is Loretta Devine in Down in the Delta? I don't remember her.
She's plays Zania.
I don't remember her at all.
I have actually never seen the film, so
it's not bad.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's not great, and I've shortlisted it a couple of months, and then I always end up picking something else.
Because you have the longest short
I know
in America.
I know, but it's not bad. It's a solid movie. Okay. It's solid.
All right.
Alfred Woodard's film career is spottier than you'd think a actor of her stature.
Well, unfortunately, that is the truth of black actresses.
Yeah. Yeah, but
through no fault of their own.
You think Alfred Woodard has like a Angela Bassett level of body of work. And she really doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Yeah.
All right.
That's
6 Degrees of Derville Martin. It's now time for us to turn to our review of Hoodlum from 1997, an American crime drama that gives a fictionalized account of the gang war between the Italian-Jewish Mafia alliance and the black gangsters of Harlem that took place in the late 20s and early 30s. The film concentrates on Bumpy Johnson, played by Lawrence Fishburne, Dutch Schultz, played by Tim Roth, and Lucky Luciano, played by Andy Garcia. This film was written by Chris Baranco and directed by Bill Duke, and is Vincent's selection for this stop on the Micheaux mission. Vincent, what say you of Hoodlum?
I think as an American audience, we have this fascination with gangster films. And certainly at the time when these people were alive, they were larger than life, and then very soon many of them were fictionalized to this point. So you have Lucky Luciano, you have Dutch Schultz, you have the organization, I mean the commission, all of this that we think of. And Bumpy Johnson really is the black gangster.
Yes.
That we talk about.
From that era.
And it's speaking of people that you think are around more than they really are, when you look at Bumpy Johnson and depictions of Bumpy Johnson, there really aren't as many as you would think for him to be the black gangster. There are allusions to him, like they talk about Bumpy in Shaft is sort of based on him, and there are all these black gangsters. And for that reason alone, I think Hoodlum kind of serves this great utilitarian purpose. Like this was years before The Godfather of Harlem, which appropriately enough was also created and written Chris
Brancato.
Chris Brancato writes for that as well.
Yes.
So, but this was really the fictionalized account of Bumpy Johnson's life. And as you said, it is fictionalized, but just to kind of cut that off at the pass, the sort of nip and tucks that they do with the actual history doesn't bother me that much because, I'm a fan of The Untouchables. I'm a fan of all these movies, and they always kind of move things around. And so there's that. I think there's a lot to like about this film. Like, I think there's a lot in this film. And the foundation of what I enjoyed about this film was the performances. Like, I think there are really solid 2 good performances throughout. Speaking of actresses that you think they have a stronger body of work based on their stature than they really do when you look at it. Cicely Tyson is in here as in a few scenes.
Yes.
As Bumpy's mentor.
Mama Queen.
And I like her. Like, I like her especially for what she's asked to do. Like, as someone who has the kind of gravitas and the presence that you would think that these men defer to. You have to be able to fill out the role. And I think Cicely Tyson does a good job with it. I think the relationship between she and Bumpy, this sort of motherly mentor to son figure, which gets complicated as the film goes on, I thought played well. So I liked her in what she was doing. Tim Roth is eating up every piece of scenery and having a ball as the sort of garish, gross, super racist Dutch Schultz. And I loved every moment. There's a scene in here where he's being disrespectful to Lucky Luciano and the rest of the mobsters, where he's eating an apple, and it is the best fruit eating scene since I forgot the actor's name the actor who eats the banana in Belly.
Oh, I can't remember.
But I just love, like, Tim Roth eating this apple and being racist is fantastic. I don't know how long Andy Garcia has waited to play Lucky Luciano when this film started, but Andy Garcia plays Lucky Luciano like he's been waiting his entire life to put on this outfit and be the embodiment of well-heeled, little sleazy, sexy, Italian mafioso. And I really enjoy him a great deal. Chi McBride plays Bumpy's cousin.
Yeah.
And I like Chi McBride. I've always liked Chi McBride. I like Chi McBride a lot in this film.
Yes.
And I really like the chemistry between him and Lawrence Fishburne. Like you really bought that these were cousins.
Yes.
And I like them together. We were talking a little bit during 6 Degrees about Vanessa Williams, and I like Vanessa Williams. And I've always liked Vanessa Williams acting. And I like Vanessa Williams as this love interest, Francine, who is, kind of upstanding and gets drawn into this life with Bumpy. And then at the center, of course, you have Lawrence Fishburne. And this is Lawrence Fishburne in the pocket. Like, this is in the pocket. This is the deep cover Othello pocket that we've talked about previously, where he is lean, he is menacing, he is sexy, he has presence. Speaking of Andy Garcia, they kind of Bill Duke kind of holds it back for a couple of scenes, but once he gets to the point where he puts those period piece suits on, the suits are laying on him. And, I just loved all of these performances. Like, I haven't even mentioned Loretta Devine. I haven't mentioned Clarence Williams III. Like these, again, it's just sort of chock full of these actors that are kind of doing good, solid work. The storyline, look, it's a gangster movie. It's gangsters fighting each other. So, the storyline is pretty straightforward. But the line-to-line dialogue I liked a lot. Like, there are lines in this film that I kept jotting down.
Oh.
Like, this is a good line. This is a good line. So, I enjoyed that as well. As a period piece, you could tell it was not quite on the level of something like Devil in a Blue Dress or even A Rage in Harlem. When you talk about the money that is spent on the cars and the buildings, and once it's sort of like the later entries in the Planet of the Apes movies, where like the main apes would have this great makeup, but then you start looking at the extras and it gets a little shaky. Yeah. Like Lucky Luciano had on some beautiful suits. Bumpy had on some beautiful suits. Cecily Tyson had on some nice dresses. Vanessa Williams, one or two scenes, had on some nice dresses. But boy, you start looking behind them and you see the limitations of the budget. And there's that as well. So just as a film, I think there's a solid entry in the 90s. Now, us. 2 hours, 11 minutes. So now you're over that 2 hour mark, and immediately I'm like, okay, well, what could you cut?
Right.
And I do think that there is an hour and 45 minute to 2 hour version of this film. There is a bit in the lag where, the film really revolves around this conflict between Bumpy and Dutch. And once it's kind of established, there is an extended period where it's just some back and forth. They even use montage at one point where it's like, no, okay, we get it.
Right.
They're going back and forth. I will say this about the length and about how the film ends up falling. I enjoyed so many of the performances that all the way to the end, even through the sort of, just sort of the rate of attrition that you get in a gangster movie. So, of course, people are going to die. There are enough actors that I'm enjoying all the way to the very end that scene by scene, I enjoyed it. So they're just on a sort of practical level, there's that. But then B, I really enjoyed the fact that the last half hour or so, you get the repercussions of what this war has on Bumpy and his relationships with people. Like, I think some of the strongest scenes were towards the end between Lawrence Fishburne and Chi McBride. There's a dynamite scene between Lawrence Fishburne and Vanessa Williams at the end that I really like. They complicate Clarence Williams' character a bit by the end so that, again, I felt the 2 hours and 11 minutes, absolutely. But if I were going to make cuts, I don't know if I would cut at the end. Like I'd cut some of that middle part because again, I really, you know, there's a point where, you know, I talked about his complicated relationship with Cicely Tyson's character. Like things get real muddled by the end. And I appreciated that where, you know, throughout the film, they sort of deal with this, this sort of nuanced, what do you do with this black man who is actually a criminal? But then the community kind of holds him up as a Robin Hood figure. And textually, the film addresses that. Like, you know, I think you're just a thief. You know, at the end when he and Chi McBride are arguing, it's like, well, Dutch's men are black and our men are black. And no matter who wins, all I know is it's just black men killing each other. And you have that as well that I thought was enough, again, to hold my attention. So that by no means do I think this is a perfect film. Like I kind of get why we don't talk about this film as much as, you know, sort of the period piece that you would think of immediately with it, something like Devil in a Blue Dress. But ultimately, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking about the commentary on the blacks killing blacks. I like the whole idea. Mama Queen talks to Bumpy about not wanting to start a war in Harlem against the Italians because she recognizes that that war is not going to take place on their streets.
Right.
It's going to take place right here.
Right.
Where we're going to be killing our own people, you know? So, you know, and that is a complication that the movie does speak to, you know, it gives voice to, because it is a reality, you know, regardless of how much for self you are living, you are always still thinking about your community more so. So I did appreciate that about the film. You talked about the performances. I really did like Chi McBride in this. I think he may have been my favorite performer in this film. And we're fans of Chi McBride, but I think he holds his space very well here next to Lawrence Fishburne, who, like you say, is like in his prime. This is Lawrence Fishburne should have been Black Panther prime, right? And you can see it. And for Chi McBride to hold that space, and especially considering that he is at once supposed to be like, I think like an audience surrogate a little bit for this film, as well as being a bit of the comic relief for this film, he still holds his space and still has depth to his character. So I really appreciated him. And Lawrence Fishburne, like you said, is in the pocket, is right in the pocket. I think Bill Duke, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Garcia is a contemporary of Bill Duke. Because I think if you are a person of a certain age at this point and you're working in movies, especially if you're an actor and you're thinking about like, oh, if I ever get the chance to. If you're an actor, it turns into a director and now is moving more into direction because by this time Bill Duke has already done A Rage in Harlem and a couple other films and some TV shows. If I ever get a chance to, and he finds out that he's going to do Hoodlum and this is going to be, I'm doing a gangster movie and it's set in the 30s. Yes, I'm doing it. And it's not, and A Rage in Harlem, as much of it, as much as it was a period piece, it was still kind of like more fictitious in its characters. But now I'm playing with the, like, you know, the mythology of gangster. When you're talking about dealing with luckily Luciano, Dutch Schultz, like you're right in that world. It's right in that world that you've kind of like been reading about and seeing movies and portrayed your whole life. And I get to play in that sandbag. I am there. So I'm pulling out all the tricks. Oops. Excuse me. In the Godfather, they had the scene where, you know, you had the montage of the newspapers, you know, and the bullets being blazing.
Very Public Enemy #1.
Right, yeah. right. Here's mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, everybody's got their 30 suits on, the cars, like, line them up. Line them up. We can only afford how many? 10? We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
We will make it work, man.
Yeah.
What? We can use the back lots of what sets? Here we go. Road trip.
At some point, I think it's a guy holding up a cardboard cutout of a car.
Yo, Bill's like, I will make it work.
Yeah.
This is my time. Quiet on the set.
Right.
He is there.
Mr. Duke, there are only 4 people here.
And y'all all be quiet. But it's just the montage. It's the montage. And Andy Garcia, I'm playing who? Dude. Andy Garcia, I don't know if this is true. Mm-hmm. Something tells me Andy Garcia is like, I would not be surprised if he is like this big historian of gangster history.
Right.
So he plays Lucky Luciano. And there's a scene where Lucky Luciano, you're introduced to him, and he has this dog. And he hands off his dog to somebody. His dog is named Bambi. He's like, here, to walk Bambi around for me, right? Lucky Luciano actually did have a dog named Bambi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bambi doesn't show up for another like 6 years.
No.
But I bet Andy Garcia said, oh, we're going to make it work in this movie.
Look.
Because I don't know when I'm next going to play Lucky Luciano.
He got a taste of the gangster life. I just looked up. He was in Godfather 3 for 45 minutes. And he said, oh, yeah, this is the life for me.
That's right. And that wasn't a period piece. Mm-hmm. So this is the
and
period.
that wasn't a period.
That wasn't a period
Right,
piece.
right.
Now I get it. I mean, this is my Godfather.
He's like, wait, ain't no flashbacks?
This is my Godfather.
Uh-huh.
They probably in the deleted scenes, he's running around with an orange.
Right.
I guarantee.
Right.
I guarantee. Like, this is his Godfather.
He is all in.
He is in. Mm-hmm. He is in. He is on the set every day. Every day. You need me in this scene? It's in Mama Queens. He's like, okay.
Mr. Garcia, this is an Arby's.
I could be in blackface in the back. No.
No. Like, everyone's like, no.
It's not that period.
Right.
So they were in their bag.
Yeah.
They were in their bag for this film, right? So and God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless
Yeah.
them, right? If I may be allowed, one man moment.
Okay.
Vanessa Williams is a very, very beautiful woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because she came on the screen, and I honestly, Vanessa Williams.
Sure.
But she came walking down the street in this movie, and I was like, wow, there's the sun.
I mean,
There's the sunshine.
that's that beauty pageant training.
Woo.
Like, she actually does walk like, no doubt.
Yo, she's... All right, man moment over.
Mm-hmm.
She's not bad in this film. She's not bad. She's not given anything. I understand the storyline that she's supposed to be kind of like, drawn into this world. She's not of this world. She's, she's helping people.
Sure.
And then she kind of like gets like lost in the world and marries Bumpy. I get what the storyline, they tell you what the story's supposed to be. I don't think there's enough of it there that I don't really buy the transition, especially when it flips and she says she wants out. And I didn't buy that flip because I didn't see her necessarily. I didn't see the switch in her. She bought in, but I didn't see the buy out.
Okay.
So it came very abrupt for me. I give you the scene where it happens is a powerful scene because of her and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
And some of the staging of it, but I just didn't necessarily buy the
build up.
Yeah, I didn't feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel it was earned. Loretta Devine, always a pleasure.
Always
Always a delight. It's just like a credit to any film that she's in. And she's good in here for what she is asked to do.
I was about to say.
She's not asked to do much at all. Neither is, still very early in her career, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
In this film. Yet in the 2 scenes that you see her, you're like, there's something there, and you know what's coming, right? So there is a good deal to like about this film. At the end of the day, however, the runtime did run long to me. Now it's funny, when I came in, I was talking to Dylan when I came in. It's like, this movie is like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like, and I said to myself, I don't think unless you're Francis Ford Coppola, I don't know if a gangster movie needs to be over 2 hours. But then I looked it up, to be fair, and Goodfellas is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but it's Goodfellas.
Okay. Donnie Brasco is 2.5 hours, and I love Donnie.
There's
Brasco.
more story in Donnie Brasco.
Very true.
Like that's about organized crime. Well, organized crime is the backdrop, but that's damn near a character study.
It is, and it is, and I would hard pressed to think of what you would.
Right, it's damn near a 2-man play. Like you could actually make a play out of Donnie Brasco.
Speaking of play, oh man, I just lost it. The Robert De Niro movie with Chaz Palminteri, that Robert De Niro directed, where
A Bronx Tale?
A Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
A Bronx Tale, which is kind of loosely a gangster film. That's only 2 hours and 1 minute. Perfect. Right on point.
And again, that's sort of the backdrop.
Right,
Like,
'cause
it's really kind of a coming of age.
It's coming to age film.
Yeah,
It actually was a one-man play.
Yeah.
That was adapted. So I was like, all right, so the runtime about this movie left me cold about this. But the big problem that I had with this film is that as much as Bill Duke is, I can see this being like his opportunity to play and do his gangster film. It's not well directed. It's not well directed a lot. And Bill Duke is not that early into his career as a director where I can like give him a pass on some of the staging, some of the places where the camera is shot. It does nothing to sell the story, right? Especially considering that you've got Lawrence Fishburne flying on all cylinders. You got Tim Roth, to your point, eating up the scenery as only Tim Roth can do. Andy Garcia is having a ball. You know, Loretta Devine's doing great work. Cheat McBride's doing great work. Clarence Williams III is maybe from the background stealing every scene that he's in.
It's funny, we were talking about Jamie Foxx in Ali. Clarence Williams III has a similar speed in this, where like you said, like this sort of side character.
And you're thinking his side character is that much more important, and he becomes important in, to me, very rushed ending, tying up with a whole lot of loose ends because they realize, oh, this is going on 2 hours.
Yeah.
The importance that he holds, it's kind of seeded through, to be fair, but again, I don't think the direction sells it well enough. I think the direction undersell. It's just bad in this film. And as a director, which means that not only are you saying where the camera goes, you're staging the scenes, you also have a say in the look and the sound of your finished product. The cinematography on this movie looks very flat.
It does.
It looks TV movie of the week.
Well, part of the reason you can tell with the sets is because of the cinematography.
Because it doesn't hide anything, right?
Like we're joking about the lack of material resources with, again, the cars, the costumes, this, that, and other. But a lot of that can be massaged
and hidden, yes,
with staging and cinematography,
proper lighting.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Evocative lighting.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are scenes that call for that. The scene you were talking about, we both herald between Lawrence Fishburne and Vanessa Williams, the Francine character, when they break up. With proper lighting, that scene really pops. But it's the acting, a bit of the staging, but everything else about it is just very TV flat.
Right.
And then the music is tonally off with this entire film. There are times where there is something really dangerous and supposed to be intense action or drama leading to action that's supposed to be happening on screen, and the music sounds like I'm on the Love Boat. Like it just would take me out of the scene.
I wonder why. Not why you feel that way, why the musical choices were made.
I think, again, that may have been a choice of, I wouldn't be surprised, and I was looking it up, I couldn't find it, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of this music is more stock film, music.
It sounded
that the movie company owned,
right,
just to make it work.
Well, to your point, and I was talking about the like you were talking about the spinning newspaper, and I said Public Enemy #1. Like you get these moments that you think he's playing homage to those films. Like there's this, like the first time Lawrence Fishburne and Vanessa Williams' character kiss, there's this great orchestral flourish where the camera pans up. And I said, oh, okay. Like I kept expecting to see a lit candle, and then it cut to the candle halfway burnt down. And so, I do wonder if that's what Duke was going for. But it's sort of like, I think what we're saying is it's like the old adage, when you get work done, like you can get it done fast, you can get it done in a quality way, or you can get it done cheap. But you got to pick 2 out of the 3.
Yes.
Like you can't get all 3. And I think the problem or the challenge that you're really getting to is you have like a lack of budget compared to its better counterparts, including A Rage in Harlem, frankly.
Yeah, but I don't think go ahead.
A lack of sort of clear direction. And then I don't know a third thing, but you can't have that combination. Like either you can throw enough money at it to kind of overcome these shortcomings, or you can direct your way out of it.
Yeah, see, but to your point about the budget, and I just looked it up, this movie had a budget of $30 million.
Okay.
What was the budget for A Rage in Harlem?
Probably smaller than this, but it was a smaller film.
True. But the budget for A Rage in Harlem is $8 million.
Yeah.
But
Rage in Harlem, besides them both being period pieces, it's a whole, like this is a big movie, like to the point, like the scene that I think you see it the most, we just talked about, like they have this set piece where there's a hit on the Queen, and it's supposed to be on a downtown street.
Yeah.
And there are literally 3 extras.
Yeah.
And 4 cars.
Yeah. It looks like a scene out of Star Trek.
There's no way that me as the viewer should know that.
You're right.
But the camera is so pulled back.
Again, right.
So now we're talking the staging, that I remember, like I kept waiting for like somebody in the film to say, boy, I'm glad that Babe Ruth was playing so that nobody was on the street that day. Like it was actually distracting.
It is.
And the flip side is, I think the scenes would have been, I think, and we're talking about the Vanessa Williams, Lawrence Fishburne scene at the end, but I think the best scene in the film is the scene towards the end where you realize what all Clarence Williams III's character has to deal with working for Dutch Schultz. And at some point he's with Dutch and a corrupt policeman.
Oh yeah.
And Dutch tells him to take the leftover corned beef sandwich. He's basically telling him he says take my scraps. But I thought that was an amazing scene, and I actually thought that was a well-directed scene.
I thought that was a good scene too. I don't think it was well-directed, but
I thought to your point, the blocking was perfect. I thought Dutch in that scene, you see the menace. and you really understood the dynamic between Clarence Williams III's character and these two white men, and how Clarence Williams III had gotten out of pocket with this police captain, and Dutch Schultz was putting him back in his place. But to your point, 80% of that scene is Clarence Williams III and Tim Roth.
Yes.
And I think what I'm saying about Bill Duke's direction mainly is that he doesn't get in the way almost. So, but I thought that was legitimately a great scene.
Another problem I had with this film is that the music tonally was off, but I think also some of his direction, or maybe this is editing choices, were a little off. There's a scene where, spoiler for the film, Loretta Devine's character is killed in the film.
Sure.
But she's killed off screen, even though she's threatened
On screen.
On screen, and then somebody finds her and she's been badly beaten.
Yes.
Right? And I thought that was okay. I can go with that choice. Why do you need to show violence?
Right. I actually really like that choice to not show it. Yeah.
You like that choice because why?
I thought that could get very close to exploitive.
To showing the beating,
right? Showing them beating up Loretta Devine and this, that, and other. Like the character moment in there was Clarence Williams saying, "We don't have to do this," and was that Dutch that actually kills her? Or the other henchman?
You don't see who kills her.
No, but I think it's Clarence Williams III and the other henchmen that are there with her beating her up. And he says, don't get soft on me. And I got everything I need from the scene. Like, she's going to die. So, like, I didn't need to see it.
Okay.
So I actually like that choice. But it is a choice.
Fair. It is a choice. It is a choice. But earlier in the movie, early on in the beginning of the film, there's a scene where Dutch Schultz guys break into one of the policy houses and they pull this woman out of there, and you see that thug punch this woman twice in the face.
But that's establishing who they are at the beginning of the film. Like, that's the beginning of the film.
That's fair, but I don't think you needed to see this guy punching a woman in the face. Twice.
I thought that was powerful because it was Dutch and Clarence Williams III.
Well, it was actually just Clarence Williams III.
I'm sorry, right?
And one of the henchmen.
Right, but my point is, it was a mixed race gang.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was necessary.
No, it's necessary. I understand the necessariness of showing the violence of them breaking into the policy house, pulling the woman out, throwing the woman on the ground, threatening the woman.
Yeah.
And if you want to show somebody go to hit the woman and maybe you hear the punch or just show them that she's about to be hit, okay, you've established this violence. But to show this woman being punched not once
but twice,
yeah, that's gratuitous to me. And I thought it was gratuitous when I saw it, but I was like, okay, is this what the movie is going to be? And then when they pulled back later, I was like, yeah, you punked out. Because that means that earlier it was gratuitous, or it was something that could have been edited out.
Yeah, it didn't bother. I didn't mind the choices in that order. I didn't mind. But now we're just, and to be clear, I'm not going to fight too hard. I'm pro for women getting punched on camera, but I understood the...
Fair.
You know.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, though, I want to recommend this film.
Okay.
But it's a very, 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 very soft recommendation.
Okay.
And that is only because there are Lawrence Fishburne, as heralded his career as he rightfully has had. There are a few films where he is really in this prime moment where he is the lead.
Yeah, this pocket. This is that pocket.
And Vanessa Williams doesn't have that great of a filmography either. You will rarely see Chi McBride as good on screen.
I think outside of Roll Bounce, I can't think of anything he's better in.
And there's always a good time with Clarence Williams III. Andy Garcia is having fun.
Off the top of your head, I'm not going to fight anyone who says that he's better in Purple Rain. Where's Clarence Williams III better than his performance in this film? Off the top of your head. And I am literally doing it off the top of my head with Clarence Williams III.
Well, he is good in American Gangster because he plays Bumpy Johnson in American.
Yeah, but he's gone.
Okay, but he's
five.
good in it.
He's in one scene.
Well, I like him.
Right, he's in one scene.
I liked him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did. But no, you're right. He probably maybe, and even in Purple Rain, he's just so powerful in Purple Rain.
No.
But he really ain't in Purple Rain that much.
He's only in like 2 seasons Purple Rain.
He's just so powerful in
It's like, oh Lord.
But
You got a girl? Yeah. You love her? You think about getting married? Yes. You got to suck the cigarette. Never get married. Like, damn, Clarence Williams III? No wonder the kid is crazy. I wear pants like that too if you were my father.
that's a stretch. But
So are the pants.
let's see what you did.
Ah.
What about you? Would you recommend that people see Hoodlum?
I would. I would. I think you are absolutely right. Even though when you said it's a very soft recommendation, and then you listed like 4 different things that were great about it. But I'm similar to it. Besides what you've said already about the performances, I really did like this exploration of the price you pay when you kind of live this life. You know, speaking of people who you can tell, you know, we were talking about Andy Garcia and saying if I ever get the chance. And of course, the specter of The Godfather is over all of this. Mm-hmm. But you really did get the sense that Chris, screenwriter again, Brancato had that sort of wonderful part at the end of The Godfather 2, where you know the price you pay in his mind, and you know certainly this is not as well done as The Godfather 2.
No,
but even reaching for that, I thought at a moment in the 90s where you know you're sort of elevating the gangsters and this, that, and the other, and especially black gangsters, you know, black outlaws. I appreciated that. Like I appreciated this moment, and I thought this was something that parallels very nicely with the work that Lawrence Fishburne was doing, appropriately enough, in Deep Cover.
Yeah.
Where we talked about Deep Cover as this sort of noir where there is no morality, and you do kind of have to pay the price for this. So again, I do think there are problems. It's you know, the budget and, you know, again, 2 hours and however many minutes. But I also recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also recommend it.
Well, there you go. That is our review of Hoodlum, missionaries. If you disagree or agree or want to share your thoughts, you can feel free to share them via email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's micheauxmission@gmail.com. Or you can join us every Tuesday night live here and share it in the chat along with all of the missionaries, each and every one of you out there. Thank you so much. We lean on you. We look forward to, we don't always go to the chat, but trust me, we're always looking.
We are.
Because I think people come to watch our show just so they can have a show in the chat,
Which I love.
It's community. It
community.
is a community. They have a good time.
Again, all we got is us.
That's it.
So
That's it.
and I'm glad us is us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we tell you the Loretta Devine movie that we'll be reviewing next week here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you, if you are in the Philadelphia area, you can join Vincent and I next Wednesday, March 5th.
That's right.
Is it Mike? Wow, it is next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, that's next week.
Next Wednesday, March 5th, at Bryn Mawr Film Institute for the Be Real Micheaux screening series return, as we sit with our good friend Stephanie Watts to review Alma's Rainbow.
Really looking forward to that.
From 1994. Yeah, I'm looking forward
Really
to it
looking
as well.
forward to that.
That's going to be a good time. At Bryn Mawr, tickets are on sale right now at brynmarfilm.org. If you're in the Philadelphia area, it will be great to see you because we'll have free pretzels for everyone. Yay! All right. The Micheaux Mission is a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcast work, such as ours, which streams every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. You can book yourself in one of the many studios that they have here at Young Junk by emailing our producer, Dylan, at youngjunk.com. That's DYLAN at youngjunk.com. Book your time right now. Spaces are going fast. The Micheaux Mission is available on all of the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, at Micheaux Mission. You can also find our show as an audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or every place that you find podcasts. We do a new show 2 times a week. On Tuesdays, such as today, we drop Mission Logs, the best of the Micheaux Mission. Today, we are still in the Micheaux Missick connection, but we dropped the first connection with Dorian Missick and Omar Dorsey as we reviewed Dolomite. Live in person in Brooklyn. That was episode 137 of the Micheaux Mission. That was a good time. It's a good episode. Look for that on your podcast feed right now. And then the show that we film on Tuesday nights is available on Thursday. The Micheaux Mission goes live. So you can follow us right there. But you're always welcome to join us on YouTube. Yay! Where we stream live, where we post up videos, where we post up edited shorts, where we have a good time at Micheaux Mission. Find us on YouTube and tell a friend as we build our community right here with each and every one of our lovely missionaries. All right. Next week, here on the Micheaux Mission, it will be the month of March, which means it will be Women's History Month. And for Women's History Month, we will be rolling out one of the classic, iconic films of sisterhood in general, not just black women, sisterhood in general. From 1995, Layla Rashawn, Loretta Devine, Whitney Houston, and Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale.
Shoop.
Next week, here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we'll say,
We'll see you when it's time to meet again.